welcome to Yoga with Calyn. I'm Calyn, and today we'll be practicing a prenatal yoga class designed to de-stress and relieve any anxiety that we might be feeling. So as always, if you want to grab any props to support your body, like a pillow or a blanket, you can do so at this time. And then when you're ready, meet me in a seated position on your mat. Allow the eyes to gently fall closed. And start to become aware of sensations in the body. Notice the connection that you're making to the floor, to the earth beneath you, and how it's holding you in this space, like a gentle palm. You can start to bring your awareness to your breath. Without changing the breath at all, just notice as it rises and falls on every inhale and every exhale. And just accept the breath as it is in this moment. So you don't need to control it at all. And just allow it to be in its perfect space. Soften your belly and just bring your attention to baby at this time as they're floating in the womb. And just imagine what baby looks like and just send them your love and receive their love back. Take your left hand and place it on your heart, and take the right hand and place it on the left. And just notice what's sitting in the space of the heart. So it could be any sort of thoughts or emotions. It could be nothing, and that's fine too. Just see if you can create some space in that area. This is the center of compassion and gratitude. Space where we can allow ourselves to be more open to possibilities and to giving and receiving. Relax your jaw. Relax your temples. And take one releasing breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale softly out the mouth. You can release the hands down to the legs. Feel free to change the way you're sitting. If you want to keep things even, if you're sitting in a cross-legged sort of position like me, you can just switch directions. And then we're going to keep this movement from the spine a little bit more. Sometimes we do this more from the pelvis or different areas, but we're going to start to create some circles with our spine. So rounding back, inhale forward. Connect your breath to the movement. So your speed will depend on the depth of your breath. You can also bring your hands to baby. If you like support, though, you may want to have your hands to your knees. So exhaling back, inhaling forward and opening. Head and shoulders can move in any way you see fit. And switch directions. Finish up one last one. I could do that for a long time, but we'll move on to the next thing. Extend your arms forward and bring your palms facing forward like you're making a stop. Really straighten the arms and just notice what your shoulders are doing. See if you can bring the shoulders into the socket, down the back. Just make sure they're not coming up towards your ears. And then really flatten the hands. So you're creating that 90-degree bend from the hand to the wrist. Close your eyes. Energize the arms. If you have any discomfort, you can always bend into the elbows a bit, but we're really trying to strengthen the arms here. And then switch the palms or fingertips pointing down, palms facing towards you. And then slowly release that. Bring your arms back behind you, and you're going to clasp opposite elbows. So you're still in your seated position, clasping opposite elbows, chest is lifted. And then just switch your arms. So you're still grabbing onto opposite elbows, but just keeping things even here. Slowly release. Come forward onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. And then with the support of your hands, you can bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Come all the way up to standing. Start to rock front and back on the feet, moving all the way to your toes and then all the way back to the heels. So just be aware of your balance. As you know, your center of gravity is a little bit different at this time. But really feel every little area of the soles of the feet. Are there any tight spots? How do they feel? Do they feel really relaxed and open? Just notice how they're feeling. And then spread the toes wide apart. Bring the toes off the mat. So you're pressing the ball of your foot down into the mat. Spread the toes wide and then lower them down. Lift them back up, spread them wide again. Lower back down. One more time. So just something as simple as working on our feet like that is so good for the deeper layers of our body. Inhale, open your arms to shoulder height, and then bring the palms facing forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. Together, back behind you. And then slowly start to twist to the right-hand side. You may naturally want to drop the left arm, bring the left arm forward. See if you can bring the left arm back and keep the arms lifted. So you may be in this position. See if you can keep the arms lifted up. And then slowly come to the opposite side. Keep the arms lifted. Exhale slowly back to center. Lower the arms down to the mat. Take a couple big steps out with your feet and then point the toes outward. You may want to adjust the width of your stance to see how it feels. Bend into the knees, coming down into our goddess squat. Sink down a little bit lower if that feels okay. Keep the hands on the thighs just above the knees for some support. And then see if you can tilt your pelvis forward. So rolling the pelvis forward. And then bring your left arm down to your left leg. Inhale, right arm comes up. You can keep it right above you, or you can start to create more of a rainbow-like curve, a global curve. And slowly come all the way back to center, and then the opposite side. So start with the left arm pointing straight up. And then you can open up to the side. So really opening up in the side of the body, keeping the legs very fired up here. So pressing the soles of the feet down, engaging the thighs. Inhale, come back to center, all the way up. Straighten the arms and straighten the legs, creating a star shape with your body. Gaze can come up. 3 breaths here. And exhale, lower the arms down. Heel toe your feet together. So they can be a little bit wider than hip distance apart. If you like them closer together, that's fine too. And then just find your rootedness with the soles of the feet again before we come into a balancing pose. So we'll start with rooting the left foot down into the mat and start to lift the right leg up. So just notice when you lift the leg up, if you start to sink down into that hip, lift up through the left leg. So it's rooted down with the sole of the foot and then energizing up. Bring the knee up, about in line with the hip if possible. Hands can stay on your hips. or you can extend the arms up. Another option is bringing the arms forward. Find a steady point on the ground to focus on your drishti point, an unmoving spot where you can bring your full focus and full awareness. This really helps to build your concentration. And balancing poses are really great to increase your stamina, which will help when you're in labor. And then slowly start to lower the arms down, start to lower the foot down, but bringing the foot back behind you, pointing the toes. So just having it a little bit back behind you, and then arms down by your sides, palms facing forward, chest is open. So another balancing pose, angel pose. And exhale, lower down. And then just rock your hips side to side. Start to create some circles or figure eights with your hips. And go the opposite direction. Sometimes when you're doing figure eights, it's really hard to figure out the opposite direction. But such a nice release on the hips. And we'll move to the opposite side. So really rooting down with the sole of the right foot. If you don't feel balance right away, even lift your foot up. Bring your foot back down. See how that feels. And then we'll start to come into our balance. So again, lifting the foot up. Keep some engagement in the left foot. I like to bring toes forward. And then you can keep your hands on your hips, straight forward or all the way up. Slowly start to bring the foot back. You can point the toes, arms down by your sides, chest open, shoulders coming down the back, palms facing forward. And exhale, lower down. And then just take whatever movement feels good again. If you want to take some circles or figure eights, you can do that. We'll just take a shoulder roll. Inhale, bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then just shake the body out a little bit. We'll make our way down to seated. So use the support of your hands to help you down, especially if you're in your third trimester. And we'll come into a seated position, whatever seated position you like. You can be in Sukhasana or cross-legged, any other seated pose you know, like soles of the feet together, knees wide, Baddha Konasana. And close the eyes here. A few long deep breaths. And we'll take a pranayama technique called Brahmari breath, honeybee breath. For the course of your exhale, making a humming sound that sounds like the M in Om. Option to bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Really allow the whole jaw and face to relax as you make this sound that's coming from your nose. So it's the vibrational-like quality coming from your nose, but baby can hear you when they're in the womb. So this is a vibratory communication that you have with baby. So if you didn't know that, especially later on in pregnancy, how they can really hear things outside of the womb, it's really nice to sing to your baby if you like. I love doing that, so it's just something that you can do, but they really get to know your voice and get to know the voices of the people around you. So close the eyes, just a couple breaths. And we'll take one Brahmari breath together. Inhale deeply. You can open your eyes. And then just bring the soles of the feet together at the top of your mat, knees wide. And then just start to bend into the right knee, bringing it back behind you. So this front foot can stay as it is. You can move the foot forward. You can move this leg forward too. Really, as long as you're not in any pain, especially in the knees, then there are many, many options of degrees of the angles that you can take in this pose, deer pose. But you just want to make sure that both of your sits bones are rooted down into the mat. So if you notice one hip is coming far off of the mat, then you might need to move your body, shift to make this a better position for you. So choose what works best for you. And then we're just going to take a gentle twist over to the left-hand side to the leg that is in front of you. And we're going to close our eyes and take one Brahmari breath here. Inhale to Brahmari. Slowly come back to center and just bring the right leg forward again so you can align yourself in Baddha Konasana for a moment. So move the fleshy part out from underneath you if you like to really be rooted down. And then bend into the left leg, bring it back behind you, adjust as needed, make sure that you're rooted down into the mat. And then gently move to the right-hand side. Also be very aware of the breath that you take after your Brahmari breath and just notice how everything settles in your body. So again, close your eyes. Inhale to Brahmari. And slowly come back to center. Just both feet forward for a moment. Then bring your hands back behind you. Bring the soles of your feet down to the mat. Bring them wide and just drop them from side to side. The knees from side to side. It's like a windshield wiper. You can stay on each side for a full round of breath if that feels good for you. That's what the body is calling for. And then eventually you can make your way to laying on the left-hand side. If you've got blankets or pillows, you can use them now. You can place a pillow under your head, between your knees. You can straighten the bottom leg, bend into the top knee, and maybe bring your right hand down for support. A blanket over your whole body is also nice. Just allow yourself to become very still and held here. Please stay in this position if it's feeling nice and relaxing for you. Otherwise, with helping hands, you can make your way up into a seated position on your mat. And just bring your hands to baby. And close your eyes if they're not already. And then just slowly drift the hands up to the center of the heart. Left hand down first, right hand on top of left. Just sending that gratitude to yourself and to baby, being in this space together, taking this time to connect and be open. You can unite the palms together at the space of the heart. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today. Hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could give it a like, comment below, or subscribe to my channel, that will help me to be able to create more content for you. Thanks so much. Namaste.